Welcome to Infield Fly, the podcast where we talk all things baseball. I'm Jonah White. My co-host is Tommy Hodgkins.
Thank you, Jonah. And today we are joined by Northwestern Medill graduate student, member of the 303 Network. You can catch him on Stoppage Time Talk and Everybody Fights. Michigan native and Detroit Tigers fan, Max Bevington. Thanks for being here.
Tom. I do have to do a quick correction. I'm actually an Ohio native. I'm not a Michigan native.
Well, that's my bad. That's my bad.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Checked. Yeah, it's fine.
The only thing in between is Indiana, I believe. So
Indiana's west and Michigan's north.
Whatever.
Jonah, being the New Yorker, of course, knows nothing about Midwest geography. No geography outside of New York for Jonah.
So where does the Michigan and Detroit fandom come from then?
So I am from Toledo, Ohio, born and raised. So Toledo, Ohio is literally right on the Michigan border. We're an hour south of Detroit. And so both my mom was also born in Toledo, but then raised most of her childhood up in Grand Rapids, Michigan, which is like up northwest Michigan, back when it was like really a small town. Now it's kind of bigger. There's a lot of tech there, but she was there back when it was a nothing town, like very just like,
nice.
Small town Michigan. And so both her and my dad grew up big Tigers fans, given their Michigan connections. My dad became a huge fan when he was a little kid, and they won the World Series in 1968, one of the all-time great World Series in the history of baseball. And the first
and
ever 3-1.
Just a year later was one even better.
Yeah, that was Mets 1969. Yeah,
right.
But the Miracle Mets. But the 1968 World Series was the first ever World Series where a team came back from a 3-1 deficit, and the Tigers ended up beating the St. Louis Cardinals with Mickey Lolich, Denny McLain, and some of their all-time great players as well, K-Line as well. And
Denny McLain, he had quite the post-career, I believe.
Yeah. And it was an all-time great World Series, and my dad kind of got hooked. And then, me growing up, they weren't great up until about 2006. And then when I was in kindergarten in 2006, they had one of the all-time great turnarounds. A couple years before, they almost set the record that is now held by the White Sox of 121 losses.
Yeah.
And so they were quite close to 121 losses back in, I believe, 2003. Don't remember that. But then in 2006, they completed an all-time great turnaround, swept the Oakland A's in the AL Championship Series, and unfortunately then lost to the St. Louis Cardinals in the World Series. But through that, they had that great run. Grew up with Miguel Cabrera, Prince Fielder, Verlander, Scherzer, Doug Fister, V-Mart, those guys. And just, it was impossible to not get hooked on that. Unfortunately, kind of fell off after that, but doing a little better now. So,
right. Yeah, they made playoffs last 2 years.
2 years in a row with the wild card, yep. And so obviously were able to win the wild card both years and then fell in Game 5 of the ALDS both years as well.
Got
Back
it.
in the day, that Tigers team, I love that Tigers team. Brennan Bosch.
Oh, yeah. Brandon Inge, yeah.
Didn't they have Delman Young?
They have Brandon Inge, Delman Young, yep. Johnny Peralta, Prince Fielder, Mickey.
Prince Fielder eating somebody's nacho is one of them.
Yeah, that is hysterical.
Maglio Ordonez?
Yeah, Maglio was there. I think he left in
Melky Cabrera.
Melky Cabrera was there for a second.
Yeah.
Papa
Grande?
Papa Grande. They had Papa Grande, yeah. Valverde, yeah.
Oh my!
I mean, their starting rotation of you had Fister, Anibal Sanchez, who had some amazing years, plus Scherzer, plus Verlander.
Yeah, right.
They even had Robbie Ray mixed in for one of those years a little later on, and they had an amazing team. Unfortunately, not able to win the World Series, but did get obviously an AL title in 2012. And if it wasn't for David Ortiz, probably would have won the World Series in 2013 if David Ortiz never hit that grand slam at Fenway. So.
Yeah, a lot of Nats legends in that rotation.
Oh yeah, Scherzer to Sanchez.
Sanchez and Fister, 2014 Fister. It was special.
I'll take Papa Grande over all three of them.
I've been to the Mud Hen Stadium actually. Fun fact.
Toledo, and it's impossible to not be a Tigers fan in Toledo. You always kind of like people who are Cleveland fans in Toledo. I get you're in the same state, but it's just kind of ridiculous because you have the AAA team for the Tigers right there, and I mean I've spent countless days down at Fifth Third Field there in downtown Toledo. So I mean it's impossible to not get into it, and I saw Riley Green's first ever AAA home run. Nice. Saw Spencer Torkelson. I saw Kevin McGonigal up in AA in Grand Rapids, and I think I saw Fister pitch a rehab game. I've seen Miguel Cabrera do a rehab start. I've seen Verlander do a rehab start.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I love going to minor league stadiums. I remember when I went to the Mud Hens game. It was like Beatles night at the ballpark, which was really cool, and they're playing the Rays affiliate, and Wilson Ramos was on a
Mets legend.
Yeah, Nats and Mets legend Wilson Ramos. We could put him up for Hall of Fame vote, but he was on a rehab assignment, and I remember seeing him like this was like post Nats Ramos and being like, wow, it's Wilson Ramos again. But yeah, so Jonah, the Mets won a game.
Not just one
Breaking
game,
news,
Tommy.
yeah.
They actually won 2 games.
What's next?
In a row.
What's next?
Well, first of all, so just sit with that a minute. The Mets are on a 2-game winning streak. How about that? What's next?
I don't 10 more and you just offset the losing streak.
That's true. I like that line of thinking. 10 more, that would be it'd actually be back 3 games above 500. And hopefully the Rockies at home this weekend. So just the team is a little bit better than us.
And then the Nats after the Rockies. So
you know what? I think it's possible if the Mets weren't terrible. Anyway, all right. So we won 2 games. I just whatever. Like the Mets have basically the implications of the Mets winning was that they went from being relevant to irrelevant. People were talking about the Mets, and now nobody's talking about the Mets. But it was fun while it lasted.
Yeah, now you're just another bad team that no one cares about.
Yeah. I mean, you're going to be like, I don't know, like the Red Sox. Just like,
anyway, I did have the pleasure of watching one of those games in person when Devin Williams gave up a game-tying hit to Michael Conforto.
Yeah, the Conforto revenge game.
Yeah. I don't know. To recap, the whole thing would be unnecessary. Let's just say Mark Vientos ran through a stop sign and got thrown out by 30 feet. And that would have been such a great story if they lost that game. And it would have just been... it would have been, even more cinema, but this, it's not, we don't do Hollywoods because Vientos got an RBI hit later in the game, and the Mets won, and that was that. So anyway, so after that game, have you ever heard of Luke Weevil? Luke Weaver.
I've heard of Luke Weaver.
He was on the,
Okay, I get them confused.
He was on the Red Sox, right?
He was a
Yankee.
He was a
Sorry.
Yankee.
He should still be on the Yankees.
Yeah.
So Luke Weaver. After that game, he pitched the last 1 1/3 innings of the game. He walked the guy to load the bases, and then he got out of it, and then he pitched a scoreless 9th inning. And the Mets won the game. And so after the game, he gives this whole big speech. I didn't watch the whole speech. I didn't feel the need to, but I just saw a couple excerpts. And here's one of them. So Luke Weaver, after getting the winning pitcher, very exciting. Mets haven't had one in a while. So 1 1/3 innings, scoreless baseball. Amazing, right? So he said, look, people smell fear. I'm not the biggest guy in the room, but I ain't scared of nobody. That's what Luke Weaver said. Part of his speech. It's longer, but I don't. I think that's enough. After winning for the first time in 13 games.
Yeah, how do you feel about that?
First of all, he says, I ain't scared of nobody. Tommy, we know that means he's scared of somebody. He should probably every hitter that he faces. I could see why he's excited after an inning and a whole third of an inning, more than an inning, scoreless baseball. Very big accomplishment for him and his negative .2 WAR on the season. And he's now the closer, by the way, because Devin Williams isn't the closer. So... I don't know. That's just like, it's tone deaf. I think it speaks for itself. Like, what? You know what it struck me as watching the excerpt of the speech? He was acting like he just won an ESPY. An ESPY for scoring, for throwing an inning in the third scoreless inning. And so congratulations to Luke Weaver. Good for you. All right.
Yeah. Well,
I'm not done though with the whole Mets thing.
Yeah, I was going to bring up. I don't know what's going on in the clubhouse there. Like, there's a whole Soto
one thing that's not going on in the clubhouse is Juan Soto talking to his teammates.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not going on in the clubhouse. And you know what? I wouldn't either if I was Juan Soto. They're all boring and not very good. Like Juan Soto. Yeah, I respect. I've always admired that about Juan Soto. His honesty and his authenticity. Genuinely. Like, some other players would have danced around it, but he's just like, why lie? Why lie? He hasn't talked to his teammates. He doesn't, they don't care. He doesn't care. I mean, actually, he does care more than they do. But it's like, That's not a good thing, though, overall, in the big picture. Like, that's not a good thing. That like, it's so obvious, and was obvious anyway, but that the team doesn't care for each other. And I know that doesn't, there's no place for that in David Stearns' spreadsheets, but it's real, and it's not a good thing. And I think it actually affects play on the field, believe it or not. I think that the fact that the players aren't friends with each other and just, like, whatever, I think that that's not a good thing. And half the ones came here this year. That's not a good thing. I don't even know if I'm going to have time to get to the whole David Stearns thing. Anyway, let's talk about defense at first base. Max, you remember Prince Fielder?
Yeah. I remember Miguel Cabrera had to move to third base and drop a bunch of weight so Fielder could play first.
Right.
Yeah.
And Prince Fielder, I don't think he was a particularly good first baseman.
No, I mean, he wasn't going to drop a pop fly, but he didn't have the agility to, like, pick a ball out of the dirt.
But he would field a ground ball, I would assume.
Yeah, I mean, if it was like a routine ground ball, he's not going to mess it up. But, I wouldn't trust him to pick the ball out of the dirt.
And let's say somebody bunted the ball to him with runners on first and second in the ninth inning of a tie game, and the runner was going to be safe at third. Do you think he'd throw to third or throw to first?
He'd probably just try to throw to third.
No.
You don't think he would, or?
I don't think he would. I think he would throw to first. But Mark Vientos, different story. He would throw to third.
I don't know. I feel like Fielder just doesn't run after the ball a whole lot.
Oh,
so
well, you know what? All right,
he would go to first and hope the catcher got there.
Well, good.
He would have hoped that Alex Avila got the ball.
Yeah.
Oh, Alex Avila.
Yeah. That's legend, Alex Avila.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, all right. So point taken. But anyway, Mark Vientos picked up the ball and he threw to third. So run prevention, great. And that blew one of the games. The last game of the 12 in the ninth inning with Devin Williams on after Devin Williams walked the first two batters. So that's just one example of what the Mets first base defenses look like. Whether it's Brett Beatty making 2 errors in one game, Jorge Polanco on one leg, Jared Young, I don't know what he's doing there. It's embarrassing to not have a first baseman. And I get it. First base defense, like, doesn't matter that much. Except you got to have somebody that knows a little bit about it. And to go full off season and not have a first baseman when you're constructing a team and talking about run prevention, that's the first team ever that's like first base defense is a legitimate problem, and it is. So congratulations, David Stearns. Well done. You've done something nobody else has ever done before. And I want to shout out Marcus Semien while we're on the subject of the Mets for being having one of the best ABS challenge percentages in the league. He's 3 for 4. So congratulations.
Yeah, at least he can do something because he can't hit.
Yeah,
that's right.
I know. Like, where did the guy who won a World Series with the Rangers go to?
I know. Yeah. Like last year.
I want to say with Luke Weaver, Jonah. I mean, I remember Luke Weaver because me and my brother attended.
Is it Weaver or Weevil?
Weaver.
Okay.
Why would it be Weevil?
It just makes more sense.
But my brother and I, we went to Game 4 of the World Series in 2024, where obviously the Yankees just kind of got run over by the Dodgers. But we went to the one game they won with the Volpe Grand Slam, and I remember
nobody remembers that.
Yeah, of course nobody remembers that because it was just like a blip on the radar of the series. That was just domination.
I do remember Aaron Judge dropping a pop up though in the decisive.
Yeah, well, that was the game where the fan took the ball out of Mookie's glove and got kicked out.
Oh, that's right.
That was crazy.
I remember that. Yeah, and so Luke Weaver actually had become a shutdown closer for the Yankees in October of 2024. And where did that guy go to? Talking about players who have fallen off. Marcus Semien, World Series champ at the Rangers. Was a dominant Rangers team basically all year.
The thing is,
Weaver dominant in closing for the Yankees in October of 2024. Where's he now? Nowhere close. Where's he now? Nowhere close.
They fell off before they got to the Mets.
Yeah, well, Devin Williams used to be one of the best relievers in
Pete Alonso
in the
changed
league.
that.
Wow. Yeah.
So
maybe it's a Mets thing.
It's that David Stern sees these people that used to be good and they're bad, and he's like, oh, if I bring them in and they're good, I'm going to get all the credit. But
yeah, I guess last year Marcus Semien had an 89 WRC plus and his average, what was his average? 230. Yeah, so he was just bad last year. And David Stearns saw this guy and be like, oh, he can be better this year.
Let's get rid of Brandon Nimmo.
yeah. And now look at Brandon Nimmo. He's playing pretty well.
Let's take a look at Brandon Nimmo's stats if we can pull them up.
I got you.
Yeah. In 2023, Semien was third in MVP voting for the AL after just, crushing with the Rangers that year. They won the World Series. And followed it up in 2024, also an all-star, and then at least Gold Glove in 2025. Obviously, the hitting just took a dive, but like you could see the hitting fall off, and then nice contract from the Mets after seeing the hitting fall off in 2025.
Well, the good news, he can go and cover second base himself when he fields a ground ball, and Francisco Lindor runs into center field.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, and Brandon Nimmo this year having a great season, batting .304, 151 WRC plus. He's already got one F-WAR. And 510 slugging, so good season for Brandon Nimmo, a lot better than Marcus Semien. But what about his ABS challenges?
That's right.
maybe
That's right.
Semien's better at ABS.
Three for four is anyway. So David Stearns, remaking the team in his own image, and you know what? Congratulations on a 2-game winning streak. So he's doing a great job.
Do you have anything else on the Mets?
Didn't have anything else on the Mets? I'm sure I did. We talked about
Should just rebrand this as a Mets podcast.
Yeah.
Those running through the stop sign.
Jonah White rants on the Mets.
Oh, we had people blaming Mamdani, of course, for the losing streak.
Yeah, the Mamdani curse.
The Mamdani curse of the Mambino, as the
New York Post.
And so a lot of people were saying that.
That's so funny.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll think of some other stuff, but that's where we're at.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, do you want? I kind of want to pivot to another NL East team. The Philadelphia Phillies, who have lost 9 in a row. They're catching up to that 12 in a row. They got swept
At least
by
we
the
don't
Cubs.
have Alec Bohm.
Exactly. So I'm gonna
think
get
of
to that.
Sorry.
This Phillies. No, you're good. This Phillies lineup is awful. It's really bad.
I would like to point out we're all in a fantasy baseball league together, and I have Trey Turner and Bryce Harper in my starting lineup.
Yes, and I have Francisco Lindor and Marcus Semien and Brett Beatty.
Yeah,
and
but you did that to yourself.
You did that to yourself.
You
knew what you were doing.
Don't complain. Don't complain after the fact. You know what you were doing too.
Yeah.
Come
And
on.
unlike the actual Mets, I'm in last place.
Yeah, so the last place Phillies, Trey Turner, leadoff hitter, is supposed to set the table for this team.
Yeah.
He's batting .225, 74 WRC plus, so he's just been a below average
There's
hitter.
a reason I'm second to last in front of Jonah.
Adolis Garcia has been awful. I was at one of the games, I think on Tuesday, and Felix Reyes was. I was sitting in left field. Felix Reyes was batting cleanup and playing left field. And every time I saw him, I'm like, who is this guy? And why is he batting cleanup for the Phillies? Felix Reyes. Alec Bohm might be the worst player or starter in the MLB right now.
Now that Carson Bench isn't an everyday player, I think he is.
Yeah, exactly. His WRC plus is 23, which means he's 77% worse than the average major league hitter. And Bryson Stott is almost as bad. So yeah,
and one of their best hitters is actually was in his prime 20,000 years ago in the Paleolithic era.
Are you talking about Bryce Harper?
No,
Or
I'm talking
Kyle
about Brandon
Schwarber?
Marsh.
Oh, Brandon Marsh. Yeah, Brandon Marsh has like some of the best stats in the lineup right now.
Yeah.
So that kind of just shows you where this Phillies lineup is.
But you know what I was thinking? I wouldn't wash my beard because I'd want to smell so bad in the locker room if I play for the Phillies that Bryce Harper would stay away from me.
Yeah.
So it makes sense.
Yeah. That Adolis Garcia now playing awful. There's something happened to that 2023 Rangers team.
Adolis Garcia seems like he hit a home run every other at bat in that World Series.
Yeah, I know.
I'm like, good God, what happened to him?
The fall off of these players is kind of crazy. So the Phillies now in last place. The Mets not a last place team.
That's right.
And I just want to say before the season, I was on the record about the Braves being the best team in the division, and I was right, of course. Of
course, Tommy, you're always right.
I am.
That's why we have you on the pod. That's why I'm proud to call you my co-host.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Garcia's postseason average in 2023 was 323. Just like insane.
Yeah. I mean, there's something that was just an unreal.
Yeah.
team.
22 RBIs, 8 home runs. They're 323 average during that postseason of 2023, and like, God, what happened to some of these guys?
I know.
It is kind of lit that the Phillies are terrible. I actually was at a bunch of the games because I was trying to not watch the Mets. And yeah, it was great fun
awesome.
to watch, especially Alec Bohm. Just like, what a bum.
Alec Bum.
Yeah.
And then
it's like the guy with the last name Blewett.
Yeah, like every Bryce Harper at bat, I was booing as loud as I can.
Oh,
There's like a Phillies fan to like two rows in front of me, and he was like kind of shifting in his seat every
Bryce
time I booed.
Harper and home runs that turn out to not mean anything. How about that?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. That's all I wanted to say about the Phillies. I don't know if you guys have anything else.
Yeah, I mean, I can see by my fantasy stats right now that, boy, it is tough going for the Phillies right now. And I mean,
I'm
like,
sure their fans are taking it well.
Yeah.
Yeah, the famously like calm, nice fan base.
Yeah.
I mean, very respectful.
I mean, Harper right now, his average is 261, which is actually his final average from the entire year last year. And so, I mean, it's not like terrible, but it's definitely not where you would expect him to be after. I mean, he was still an all-star last year, 6th in MVP voting. I mean, 285 average. I mean, I know his average won't always be above 300 given some of the strikeouts that,
Nobody gets above 300 anymore except for Brendan Nimmo.
Yeah, or Kevin McGonigal.
Yeah, and he's entered the second half of that contract that he signed with the Phillies with nothing to show for it, pretty much. I mean, a pennant, but that's not going to cut it for how much that contract. So I love to see it.
Given where he was in 2021 with the winning MVP.
Yeah,
just like, I mean, like, he had three pretty good seasons following that, but the last, 2025 and then the start this year is just like really not cutting it given what his contract is.
Mm-hmm. And then that Phillies window seems to be like closing with every year as these players, as their core gets
well, I'm sure you've all seen that video of that Phillies fan heckling Harper on his way back from the back to the dugout, and he says like, "We gave you $300 million, you're 0 for 3." And he's like, "Shut the f up." Yeah. I don't know if you guys seen that video. If you just Google it,
I need to see that.
Some Phillies fan, heckled Harper.
My favorite video,
$30 million, and you're 0 for 3.
My favorite video about Bryce Harper is when he ran to first base and he stepped on the base and then fell down and like broke his ankle.
I think that was a knee injury. That was when he was on the Nats. I remember
That's a great
That
video.
was a rain delay.
Or the one where he threw his helmet.
Oh, yeah. When he threw his bat?
No, he threw his helmet at
Hunter Strickland.
Yeah.
Well, 2012 or 2013, he like...
Or the one where Rob Manfred gave him a silver medal.
Yeah, there was an incident in like 2012 or 2013 where he like smashed his bat in the hallway of the clubhouse, and he came out to right field the next inning, and there's like blood streaking down his face because the bat like ricocheted and like injured him in the face. That was not a good look for like the 19-year-old like hothead.
Prince Fielder had some pretty iconic fall downs while running the bases.
both with the Tigers and the Rangers. Home run, if I remember correctly.
Wait, really? I actually didn't know that.
Well, yeah. On the flip side of the Phillies' 9-game losing streak, the Cubs have won 9 in a row. And yeah, Jonah, you've been in a lot of games. What have you like seen from this Cubs team?
Well, you can cross out the one against the Mets, so the 3 against the Mets. I mean, that's that's picking on the little guy, if you will. So and then there was 4 against the Phillies.
Yeah, so maybe they've just been playing bad.
It seems like a good team. They got George Bush. They've got Matt Shaw, of course.
No, I think their lineup has been playing really well.
Yeah. Dansby's done a lot better.
Yeah.
And seriousness, sorry to interrupt you, but I was at the game Monday, I believe, sitting by myself in the upper deck. It was just, just like old times in the rain. And they actually put up probably the best defensive performance as a team I've ever seen in person.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, just unbelievable. Like every inning, there's like a diving play. It's actually kind of unbelievable.
Like
run
infield
prevention.
and outfield?
David Stearns would be proud of the run prevention. Yeah.
Is this like infield and outfield?
Nico Horner, Matt Shaw, everybody
Swanson,
in between. Matt Shaw. Literally everywhere.
I don't know. I just love watching this lineup. I'm a huge fan of Nico Horner. Like in the 8th grade, I was like the second baseman leadoff hitter, and so I always have a soft spot in my heart for those kind of players.
Wow. I was a right fielder.
Yeah,
I batted like 10th or 11th, depending on how many people were there that day.
I was first base, so it was obviously Miguel Cabrera tried to model after him.
Yeah. No, so I love the way that Nico Horner's been playing this season, and then Seiya back. He's finally hitting home runs. But yeah, I don't know. They look pretty good. Max, how are the Tigers doing so far? What are your
pretty
thoughts?
Solid. I mean, not the best start to the year. About 2 weeks ago, they got swept 4 in a row by the Minnesota Twins, which was not an ideal start to the season, but
Ouch.
we're able to split with the Red Sox at Fenway. Really should have been able to take 3 out of 4. They lost that first game after a gem by Casey Mize. Just kept them to, I believe, it was might have been a 0. Yeah, I believe it was a 0-run game, and then ultimately they just couldn't bat any runs in, and they lost 1-0 in the bottom. Got walked up by the Red Sox.
That was a Masataka Yoshida.
Yes, that was
ground
Masataka
ball
Yoshida.
walk-off.
Yeah, so that was the ground ball walk off. Just, because you just make it's such a kind of funny, part of the game. If you can just make contact in extra innings because you have the runner on second to start out,
I hate
you'll
that
end
rule.
up which
Terrible rule.
we can debate the rule. I don't like it as well, but having that ghost runner at second, basically, if you just make contact a couple times, you'll win as the home team. Especially, the Tigers are the worst team of all time at advancing the ghost runner. They truly just can't hit an extra innings. You saw that in the end of last season when they lost an extra innings to the Mariners in Game 5. Went, 15 innings or something like that. I remember.
Jorge Polanco walk-off.
Jorge Polanco walk-off. I remember.
Right.
I remember
the
sitting.
Same guy. That's amazing. It's mind-blowing.
Yeah, I remember that game ending at midnight here Central Time, 1 a.m. East Coast time, and me texting my mom God, this sucks, and she was still up watching. But not the best start. Getting swept 4 in a row by the Twins was really bad, but they then swept the Marlins and then swept the Royals. So they won 6 games in a row to kind of get themselves back around 500, and then split with the Red Sox, and then have taken 2 out of 3 from the Brewers in a good series where they're able to beat the Brewers. And shout out to Spencer Torkelson because he hit a walk-off homer yesterday for them. He's been really dreadful to start the year. Just couldn't buy a hit, but finally got a home run to fall yesterday, and their 5-2 win to kind of give him a little padding, and then went and hit the walk-off for them in the bottom of the 9th, solo shot at Comerica for them to win. And then their hitting hasn't been great. Riley Green has been solid, but kind of in Riley Green fashion will have these great at bats and then follow it up with an at bat where he swings at 3 balls outside the zone and then strikes out, kind of like a Javi Baez-esque player, just playing outfield instead of shortstop. And though, I do want to give props to Kevin McGonigal. His batting average right now is .319, which is just really, really good. Dylan Dingler's just an RBI machine for them right now.
And
I'm glad I drafted
on the all-name
Dingler.
team.
Yeah.
First team all-name Dylan Dingler.
Dingler, yeah. To have the last name Dingler in baseball is a nice little, I guess, maybe coincidence for him.
Yeah.
All-name team still to come on a future episode.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Kerry Carpenter's done okay. His average is still kind of what it is because he strikes out way too much, but he's gotten 5 home runs so far, so not...
Kerry Bonds.
Kerry Bonds, yeah, as they call him. For a guy like Kerry, I can kind of tolerate him being mediocre if he just turns it up in October like he has. I know...
Right.
Steven, I know you do follow I know you follow Stephen Kwan.
Yes, my favorite player.
Yeah, I know you like to follow Stephen Kwan in Cleveland. And if you remember, he hit one of the big, just a huge home run off of the now disgraced reliever.
Emmanuel Clase.
Yeah, Clase, thank you. Sorry, I was blanking on his name for a second. Emmanuel Clase, then how disgraced
Was
reliever.
was it a rooster?
Yeah. And if, so I'm sure now everybody wants a second guess whether or not Clase was blowing games for them in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But, Kerry hit that huge home run off Clase back in the 2024 ALDS. And their hitting hasn't been great. They've kind of picked it up against the Brewers. Kind of picked it up against the Red Sox. But they've kind of had some up and down hitting. You just don't see a lot of consistency from the guys you'd want to see consistency from, especially Riley Green, who just seems to never be consistent with anything. You'd want to see Javi Baez be maybe 10% more consistent and maybe not swing at so many bad pitches. But, I think they're in a pretty weak
division. That ship has sailed.
Yeah, I think at this point he just is who he is. But they definitely benefit from being in a weaker division. The Twins are mediocre. The White Sox are absolute garbage. The Royals
have been terrible.
The Royals have been terrible this year. And Cleveland is at the definition of average, but they always find a way to play above their play above their actual talent level, as we saw them make that crazy comeback in the division last year as the Tigers kind of collapsed and they made up a 14.5 game kind of a deficit that they were in. But they're in a pretty weak division. Right now, the best teams in baseball are very NL heavy. It seems like the AL is not super impressive right now. So I'm definitely, with how they've looked, I definitely feel like they've still shown they're a playoff caliber. Pitching rotation is great. And it's going to be, Subel's going to be great all year. Frombert's going to be pretty good. Flaherty, if he can find some more consistency, can give you great innings.
Has he drilled his catcher yet?
No, he hasn't. He has not drilled Dingler or Jake Rogers, thankfully.
Jake Rogers, yeah.
And then
Jake Rogers, first team all mustache.
Yes, he is. Yeah,
another team.
Yeah, he's a true man of Texas. Jake Rogers. Yeah, he's a true man of Texas. And I mean, yeah, their starting rotation of Skubal, then to Fromber, then to Flaherty, then to Casey Mize, and then maybe if Verlander ever stays healthy, which God knows if he will, could be obviously I think it's a great starting five. Even then, their kind of guy who goes back between the Tigers and the Mud Hens, Cater Montero, has had some great starts for them. He's very serviceable.
Yeah,
and I think their pitching rotation is going to be what's carrying them. Good back end of the bullpen there with Will Vest, Kyle Finnegan, and Kenley Jansen. Pretty solid back end there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they have Kenley Jansen as one of their closers to take some load off Will Vest.
And former Nat Kyle Finnegan.
And Kyle Finnegan. I mean, their only good trade deadline acquisition last year after they acquired a bunch of bums like Charlie Morton and tried to turn him around. And then
Chuck Morton. Man.
He's not 2021 Charlie Morton by any stretch. I think he just retired, isn't he?
I think so.
He just retired.
Sounds right.
I'm looking through the. Sorry, to interrupt again. But I just found a stat for you guys. Which team, quick quiz, has the best home record at their home ballpark?
Oh, sorry. I'm looking at this right now.
Oh, well, look up, and because I got another question for you.
Well, I'm looking at the opposite question, too.
Oh, well, that was going to be the next question.
Yeah, I know where you're getting at. I was going to bring that up, too. You go.
Okay, well, the answer is the Tigers.
Oh, they have the best home record?
They do.
They're 10-2.
10-2, yeah.
And how about and it makes sense because it's probably the worst home ballpark in the league. In terms of what? How interesting it is.
Oh, I disagree.
No. Sorry. Not Comerica Park. Nationals Park, and the Nationals are 3-10 at home.
At home.
How about that?
Yeah.
And then the Mets are 5-7 at Citi Field. Not bad.
Yeah. I was gonna say the Tigers' away record is 4-10.
Oh yeah,
so that's an interesting split right there.
Yeah, I mean their batting average on the road has been really bad. The game Skubal pitched on the road against the Twins, he got just lit up. I mean, like him and Fromber, because they pitched back-to-back games against the Twins, and they were both just lit up by the Twins on the road. Two of the best pitchers in baseball.
How scared are you of Jose Soriano winning the Cy Young this year?
I would like to not see it. I mean, honestly, for Skubal to win 3 Cy Youngs in a row would just be insane.
It's never happened in the AL.
Yeah, it's never happened.
Randy Johnson's done it, but yeah.
It would just be I mean, I guess I wouldn't believe it till I see it, sort of deal. Yeah, but I mean, he wasn't great against the Brewers yesterday. I mean, he gave up 4 earned runs, and he looks like he might hit them, and he cruised through 4, and then just gave up a couple doubles, and then the bases got loaded, and then those guys ended up getting walked in, but those were his runners, and then he took on those earned runs. But
good thing is Tarek Skubal didn't exert himself in the World Baseball Classic. So
no, he saved himself. Yeah. But
I know it's not his fault that they couldn't hit Erod in the finals. So,
the Tigers stand atop the Central with the Guardians. We'll have to.
I believe they're tied at 12 or 14-12. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah,
we'll have to get 303.
Thanks to the Mets winning 2 games against the Twins. How about that?
Yeah.
We'll have to get 303 executive Ryan Hinsky on the pod to talk about a guard ball.
Guard ball is my least favorite thing of all time.
I love guard ball. So
man, I can't express how happy I was to beat them in the wild card series. Last season. Yeah,
I was surprised that happened. I thought they were going to fall apart after they blew that lead in the division. But
nothing like a redemption story.
Yeah, I mean it helps when you get Tarek Skubal to come out game 1 and just shut down a very average lineup outside of Jose Ramirez.
Yeah. So I have a player of the week here. I'm gonna give you some of his stats from his last 7 games. 5 home runs, 471 on base percentage, off the back of 9 walks, 4 of them being intentional, all in the last 7 games. You guys have any guess of who it is?
4 of them being Ohtani?
No.
Wait, so 4 intentional walks in the last how many games? Sorry,
7 games.
7.
5 home runs. 471 OBP, 9 walks, 4 of them intentional.
Can you give us a hint of AL or NL?
It's NL. He's an NL player.
NL, okay. I may not get this.
He's hitting these home runs 110 miles an hour consistently.
Ellie? It's not Ellie.
No.
Okay.
Interesting. It's not Bo Bichette.
It's not Bo Bichette. I'll give you a hint.
James Wood.
It's James Wood.
Oh man.
James Wood he's so back. He has 10 home runs this season, which is the most in the National League. I think he trails Jordan by 1 or 2 home runs. But yeah, James Wood's really put it together so far, and he's not getting that much protection in the lineup, which sucks. But yeah, he's playing really well. Teams are scared to pitch to him now. He's hitting all of these home runs except for one of them yesterday. All of them have been like to the opposite field. So because he's just hitting it 110 miles an hour, line drives to the opposite field like every game. So yeah, that's my player of the week. Jonah, do you have a player of the week?
I do have a player of the week, but before that, I just want to make sure that Max knows that Tommy went to high school with James Wood.
Oh, you did?
Oh yeah, James Wood.
Nice,
St. John's
yeah.
College High School.
Incredible.
Oh, nice, yeah.
All right,
In Virginia?
DC.
Oh, DC area.
Well,
yeah,
my player of the week this week, it's the 24th, so we go back to the 17th. I got to add these stats up real quick. 4 appearances. Let's see. 3 innings.
In 4 appearances.
3 hits. 1 run. 1 earned. 2 walks. 4 strikeouts. And let's see any other.
Does he have a blown save?
I don't know if we've got those included here.
Is this Huáscar Brazaban?
I don't think I'll get this.
It is Huáscar Brazaban.
Oh, nice, Tommy. Yeah.
He blew the game. Yes, he has a blown
Podcast
save from
legend.
yesterday.
Well, he didn't blow the game.
Yeah.
But that's actually not even why he's those stats are pretty good, especially considering this, what the team,
Better than Devin Williams,
teammate.
and Luke Weaver.
No, but the reason he's the player of the week is because he did something incredible last night. He comes into the game with a 7-3 lead. He gives up a grand slam to tie the game. First earned run allowed by Huáscar Brazaban all season long. I don't even think he gave one up in the World Baseball Classic. He's been the best reliever on the Mets, probably the best player on the Mets.
That's not saying much.
No, it's not.
Yeah, that's not a particularly high bar.
But it was. I was looking at WAR. He's actually 3rd on the Mets in WAR after Clay Holmes and just a little bit behind Nolan McLean.
Yeah. Wow.
That's after giving up the grand slam.
That's crazy.
No. But what he did was more valuable than any of that. I think it's like is sending a message that he wants to win the game, whatever it takes. So what he did. And they chalked it up to a mistranslation. But I have a theory, Tommy. You remember when Francisco Lindor and Jeff McNeil ran into the locker room and then came out with bruises and then said that it was because they were arguing about a rat and a raccoon?
Yes.
Okay.
I do remember
But
this.
some people surmise that that's not actually what happened. Said that maybe they got into a fight.
Yeah.
But anyway, so the Mets have my point is the Mets historically have a track record of giving disingenuous explanations for things. So what happened yesterday was he gives up the grand slam, but he gets out of the 8th inning. A game is and then the Mets go back in front. And then, thanks to Bo Bichette, actually. How about that? And then go to the 9th inning. The Mets want to bring in Devin Williams, inexplicably, but they do. So, but there was allegedly a mistranslation, and Brazaban walks onto the field, crosses the foul line, and by
I saw this.
rule,
Yeah, I saw an article about this
he
today.
has to pitch to a batter.
Yeah, right.
So he does. He gets him out. Then they bring in Williams, and he almost blows the game. And I think if he had to get 3 outs instead of 2 outs, he probably would have blown the game.
Yeah.
So I'm skeptical
Wow.
that it was a mistranslation.
Yeah.
And my theory is that Huáscar Brazaban wants to win. He wants to win. He cares. And he knows that if Devin Williams is asked to get 3 outs, it's not going to happen. So, yes, he gave up a grand slam, and his ERA is still 0.79. That's about 9 points, like 9.00 lower than Devin Williams, coming in at 995. Again, 0.79, 995. That's the So Huáscar Brazaban decides that he wants his team to win the game. They chalk it up to a mistranslation, and for wanting to win the game and helping his team and caring, Huáscar Brazaban is the player of the week.
The Mets are down so bad that someone wanting to win is the greatest thing ever for Mets fans.
The absolute bottom line for a pro athlete.
Yeah.
He has separated himself.
He separated
from the rest of the team.
Wow, that's incredible.
And I just
he wants to win.
I mean, it's like Mark Vientos running through a stop sign, except the same
he's
intention,
actually good.
except he's actually good. Exactly. But it's just like there's a saying for this that's not on the Family Show, but he gives something.
Oh, he gives a something.
Right.
Yeah.
He gives
And
an
I like
expletive.
that.
Yeah,
Right. And
thank you for keeping it
and
family
it seems
show.
like and that is a special thing for the 2026 Mets.
Wow.
Yeah.
So do we have to wrap up soon here, or do we get?
It depends if somebody else has the podcast room. We probably should, so we don't get the boot.
Should we go to Stump Tommy?
Max, should we go to Stump Tommy?
Yeah, sure. I do want to give a quick player of the week, Spencer Torkelson, 2 home runs in a row. A home run yesterday and a home run the day before that. Still terrible average, but at least hitting the ball out, walk off. Spencer Torkelson, my player of the week. So even though his average is still terrible.
Yeah.
And all right, Tommy, so Jonah told me this on my train ride into 303 today that I had to do this. And so this was basically the first idea that popped into my head. So on April 4th of 2021, this outfielder for the Tigers made MLB history by hitting a home run on the very first pitch he saw in his major league debut. He was 22 years old and came out of the Rule 5 draft.
Oh, Rule 5 draft.
I said the better question, Stump Tommy question would be, what is a Rule 5?
I don't think I could even explain it. I think they got rid of it.
I love the Rule 5 draft,
Of
but I
course,
can't explain it.
Yeah.
Nasim Nunez, Brad Lord. These are all Rule 5 draft picks for the Nats.
What are the first 4 rules?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking of like current Tigers.
Let's go, Max.
And he's not a current Tiger, so
Whoa, we don't do hints. Sorry, I didn't tell you that.
okay,
I didn't tell you
no
that.
hints, sorry.
That's on me for not telling you that. We don't do hints, and he
Okay,
only gets one guess.
all right.
Those are some of the rules for Stump Tommy. I appreciate the sentiment of trying to give him a hint, but no hints. And also, he's running out of time.
Yeah, this is. I'm not gonna come up. I gotta throw out a guess here.
The pitch clock is at 8. Make eye contact with the pitcher. 5, 4.
I'm stumped.
3,
I'm stumped. I don't even have a
2,
guess.
Okay.
1. What's the answer?
Akil Baddoo.
Akil Baddoo. Wait, I love that's first team all name.
Yeah.
First team all name. Akil Baddoo.
Yep, he had a hot start to that April 2021, and they thought he was going to be a star in 2022. And he was absolute garbage. And then he spent the rest of his time with the Tigers down in AAA, down in Toledo.
Baddoo.
And now I believe he has a 2-way deal with the Brewers this year.
Well done, Max.
Wow.
Stump Tommy.
Akil Baddoo. I love that.
All right, Max, name Major League Baseball player, past or present.
Past or anybody?
Anybody.
Al Kaline.
Good.
Edgar Martinez.
Okay. Damian Easley.
Nice.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's going to do it for us on Infield Fly. Max, thank you for being here.
Oh, yeah, thank you guys for having me. It was great.
Of course.
And again, you can catch Stoppage Time on the 303 network.
Yeah.
And if you go back deep enough into the archives, they had a pretty cool guest once upon a time as well, and it wasn't Tommy. All right. Well, that's going to do it for our episode of Infield Fly from 303 East Wacker Drive. For Max, Tommy, I'm Jonah, saying so long. We'll see you next time. We're in the heart of baseball season. What a great time to be alive.
What a time.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Of course.
Yeah.